Hey, what's up guys? This is Meathead Mikkel from meatheadgaming.com, and today I'm going to do what may be my last Torment 6 solo COTA video. I know you guys are getting tired of them, I'm getting kind of tired of them myself, but I really wanted to break 1.5 billion XP per hour. And so what I'm going to do today is a little bit different. I'm going to be using an Archon build, and I changed a couple pieces around. Now, in the description below I will link my build. I'll also put a link to the previous video, so you guys can kind of see my thought process behind the build, how I do the run, my gear, that sort of thing. I didn't change a whole lot. The main thing I changed was my helm, and this is probably going to be about as good as it gets for this type of build. So I have int, vitality, crit chance, and socket. You can't really craft a whole lot better than this. Maybe secondary stats could have something, but this is about as good as it's going to get outside of a legacy crit mempo or some other kind of legendary. So this is the main thing, and I don't really care about AP on crit, which is what I had before, because I'm going to be spending most of my time in Archon. I still have AP on crit on my source, but I don't have a better source, so I'm using it for now. Bracers, I'm using ones with all resist. Unfortunately, these are the ones I had before when I was doing a cold build, by the way. Unfortunately, I was not able to craft int, vitality, crit chance, and arcane damage. I was really trying to, but I crafted about 60 of them, and I still wasn't getting that combination, because all 4 of those primaries have to roll. So I'm sticking with the ones with all resist. It drops my damage a little bit, but not bad. And my overall DPS, because of this helm, went up to 3.8 or 380k. So we're going to be doing this with a pool of reflection bonus, and my total XP bonus is 2460, and we're going to be starting out at the 69 million mark out of 781, and I'm going to do about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes of this, basically till I get through this stack, depending on whether or not I find other pools. So let me go ahead and start my timer, and we'll get rolling on this. Here we go. Really going to try to break 1.5 billion XP per hour. And the toughness, my toughness, guys, is like 1.8 billion, so it's pretty decent. And the damage goes up significantly too near the end of the... So this is actually not a very good first run. I was talking a lot, I wasn't really too focused, but it's okay. We're going to do quite a bit of these runs, and I think I will be breaking 1.5 billion XP per hour doing this. Kind of wanted to do this yesterday, but there was that whole thing with some internet company lagging the Diablo servers real bad, so I wasn't able to do that. And what I like to do is I like to start out by teleporting in here to the first pack, and then I will cast Frozen Orb a few times to soften them up so that I can get some of the damage buffs, some of their damage buff stacks for Archon right away. Alright, so this is pretty empty down here, and I'm actually going to have to port out of here. These first 2 runs are not ideal, but we'll make up for it. Part of it also is, I'm talking while I'm playing, and that kind of reduces my focus a little bit, but it should be okay. So guys, if you want to skip ahead, I'm going to give you some commentary obviously while I'm playing, but it's not going to be anything earth-shattering. So I'm going to do this for about 10 minutes or so to get a good average, and then we'll see where we're at with the XP. So I'll start here, I'll pop a couple of these, Archon, teleport, Archon, and Pop a few of these. Get out of here. I'm actually not doing very well at all on these first few runs. I should be, if I was playing pretty well and having good runs, I would be at probably about 60 or so stacks. By the time I finished up, like 60 or so damage stacks on Archon. So it also kind of depends on density too. And you'll see I'm kind of doing a clockwise pattern like this. Sometimes I don't go all the way around, just depends on where the elite is. So I do end up missing some pools of reflection, but I still get a lot of them. So I'm gonna start, pop a couple here, soften them up. First stack, teleport. And this is a little bit better. Hopefully there's something down here. I've not actually been getting very lucky these last few runs. We're up to 154 out of 70, so we're not doing bad. Hopefully these next few will be sped up. And again, over time, I think this will be, with this build, it's a lot faster. I think it will be above 1.5. I don't know if 2 is really, and again, I don't have optimal gear. Could have a lot better gear. I sold my crit info, but it's still decent. See, this is what sucks. That's what kills your runs, is you get Waller and Jailer, and that's just not good for anyone. I'm gonna pop one of those. So not bad. It's funny because when I was doing this right before recording, it always seems to work out this way. I was getting much better density, but this is still okay. And I actually have not been finding as many pools of reflection, so I don't know if that's something that Blizzard changed in this most recent patch. That's entirely possible. I mean, they do so many changes and they hardly document anything. So I wouldn't surprise me at all if that was one of the things that they did and just never told anybody about. And there's a lot of changes that put into effect that they never told anybody about in the last couple patches, so it is what it is, guys. So with this damage output, it's already above 1 million. And sometimes I will pop a few of these at the end. I do run out of AP a lot quicker, but because I don't have that AP on crit. But sometimes I'll get to the very bottom of the map and my Archon will be up, but there's huge density there. And that's when I'll pop off a few orbs, and that's why I'm still using orb, because I do get some AP on crit back and it's good AoE. Even though I'm not using cold-blooded, I'm using dominance. The reason I'm using dominance is because, I thought about using the arcane rune when it slows, or the arcane passive. But you don't really need to slow mobs. Not in this run. I mean, it really doesn't matter if you slow it or not. So here we go. So this is a little bit. I got up to 50 stacks that time, so that was pretty good density. That's a pretty good way to gauge density per run as well, is to see how many stacks you get by the time your Archon runs out. I mean, if you're at about 50 stacks or so, then you know you've had a good run. So we're at just about at the 8-minute mark right now. And if I don't find another pool, then I'm just going to take it out to the end of that pool. Typically, you know, when I do these in groups, I still constantly find pools. You know, they just kind of keep stacking, which is why it's important to also have, you know, enough toughness so that you don't die, because you don't want to lose those pools. So let's see how many stacks we can get before. These are the stacks that I'm talking about, by the way. So let's see if we can get about 50 stacks or so. Then you know it's a good run. Yep. And because I don't really have AP on crit, you know, I can't really keep going there. So that's the end of the run. So it's basically as much as I can kill during the duration of Archon before kind of resetting and starting over. Again, this is... Even I'm not going to sit here and do COTA for hours. But could I do it for 1 hour? Yeah, sure. You know, if I want to just get a few runs in and I have to go somewhere and do something and I got like 15-20 minutes of time to play, I don't have time to really find a group and, you know, get going and do all that, then yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a great way to get, you know, some XP and get it quick. And it doesn't require a very big time investment, so you can just pop in. I mean, the runs are literally like a minute long, usually less. So and sometimes I'll pull it out here if it's empty. So because the runs are so short, you know, you can get some pretty good bang for your buck just doing these over and over and over for a few minutes. And then, you know, you can do it as a change of pace. You can do it just to maybe get a couple pool stacks before you go do something else. You can do it while you're waiting for other people to group up for some runs. It's still a good way to get XP. And, you know, in groups, it's the best way to get XP right now. I know some of you guys have been commenting and saying, well, you know, you only play a small percentage of the game. You're just doing COTA runs for the most part and like cathedral clears. And yeah, you're right. You know, that is what I'm doing. But I just don't see the point in doing much else right now. Until ROS comes out, there's really no point in doing a whole lot else. Like I found, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm sure I could find a couple extra legendaries that might help me out. So that's not good. I kind of teleported prematurely. And this is Jailer. So I'm gonna need to get out of here stat. Whoa, that was close, guys. That was very close. That's why you do not. Whew, my heart rate went up a little bit doing that. That's why you save your teleport for a good time to use it. Almost got popped. But as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by the elites, yeah, a lot of what I do is, you know, COTA runs right now. I'm just trying to get Paragon levels. You know, I'm selling all my gear except for a couple pieces on my wizard because, I mean, it's all going to be worthless anyway. So, you know, there's no reason to keep any of the other gear, and I'm getting some decent money for it. So why not keep it, or why not sell it? I mean, you know, I've sold most of my pieces already. I have a billion gold now, so I'm set for ROS. And this is what I was talking about, guys. This is, sometimes you'll pop down here, Archon will be up, but there's still good density. And the 10 AP on crit or so that I have is enough to spam a few of these. Not entirely back to back, but it is enough to spam a little bit. No, those are the way. Oh, that sucks. Probably shouldn't have done that. Alright, so this run's going to definitely be slowed down because these little ghost guys right here, are the worst. I just basically have to stand here until I can get rid of them. Otherwise, I'll never be able to pour it out. In case you haven't noticed, I don't have homing pads. I was not lucky enough to find those. I think you could easily get another 200 or so million XP per hour if you have homing pads. I don't, so boo-hoo. But I do have Archon and I do have teleport, so I'm alright. We're at the 13.5 minute mark. Soften them up. This is why I use teleport. You know, if you guys haven't noticed, not only does it help you kind of get through the map quicker, but you will run into elites that are like jail or wall or that sort of thing. And if you don't have teleport, you're going to waste your like entire Archon just being walled or jailed or something like that. Alright, so that's all I got there. And my pools are almost up, so we're going to do one more run, and then we're going to calculate and see, you know, where we end up. But this should be 1.5. I'm fairly confident in that. Just kind of based on how much the bar has been moving. That should be pretty good XP, if not higher. Main thing is, don't die, make sure the runs are quick, get in and out of the game faster. You know, you can optimize this till the end of time. I mean, I wish I had, like, the Demon's Bracers. With the cold damage, or not cold damage, arcane damage, because I would totally face roll this. So there you go, there's another pool right there. So, you know, you'll get rolling pools, like I mentioned in my Pulse Reflection stacking video. Ooh, that wasn't smart. Now I have to wait until this cooldown's up. So this is going to be interesting. Fortunately, I have enough. Fortunately, Dominance is actually like really, really nice. I was having my doubts about this skill, you know, but it actually works out really well if you are killing mobs regularly. I just really want to kill this last one for some reason. Alright guys, so we're at the 15.5 minute mark. So I'm going to stop my timer and let's see how much XP per hour this is. So we're at 480, we'll just say 482 because I rounded up that first one. So let's see. So 482 minus 69 gives us 413 with the 15-minute mark, so we're just going to quadruple that. And that gives us 1.65 billion XP per hour. So we'll say 1.6. And there were even a couple runs in here. You know, if you saw at the beginning runs, they were, you know, pretty low density. I wasn't getting a lot of Archon stacks. And then I also had to pop out a couple times, so this isn't like a good set of runs by any means. But it's a decent sample, so 1.6 billion. Again, you know, a little bit faster in and out of the game, a little bit better density, you know, things like that. I think you can potentially, and a little bit more damage, you know, if I had arcane damage on this, like basically if I could just burn the mobs down faster, I had a little bit better gear, then yeah, I think 2 billion XP per hour is very doable, but I'm not going to shoot for that, you know, this close to ROS release. I got a lot of other things I want to test, such as Sneak Peek, Frostburns, and Azurath. That's coming up, guys. I'm going to test a little Freeze Wizard. I've been doing some proc coefficient testing. Anyway, so that's that, guys. And just briefly go over my skills. The changes that I made, you know, obviously I'm not using Cold-Blooded. I chose to use Dominance because of, you know, the toughness that it grants you. At first I used Temporal Flex, but you don't really need to slow enemies for any reason. You just, because you burn them down so fast. And then I still keep Orb, and I use Teleport instead of what is it, instead of improved Archon, because this damage increase is not worth losing the, first of all, just the speed alone that you gain from teleporting from pack to pack will make up for the damage loss. But this teleport is also crucial when you run into the elites that have Waller and Jailer, and where you just get stuck and you need to get out. So this is the run to have. So thanks for watching, guys. This is Meathead Mikkel from meatheadgaming.com. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you soon.